Hey, what's up? I'm Geppetto, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the making of my new single, Spontaneous Combustion.
I'm in my bag with the drip. Every other tag is say whip. And I got action, and I got passion, and I got traction and grip. You know I'm back on my shit. Every other rapper say rip. Put him in a casket, put him on their back, just put him in a hazmat, I'm sick. You know I'm back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo. You couldn't blow out a can.
So first off, this song is actually a remix. I made this song to a completely different beat and was preparing to release it, and then at the last minute I thought I'll just try to pump out a remix just to include with the single release. And the remix ended up slapping way harder than the original beat, so I ended up making it the official single. So this is the original beat.
I'm in my bag with the drip. Every other tag is say whip. And I got action, and I got passion, and I got traction and grip. You know I'm back on my shit. Every other rapper say rip. Put him in a casket, put him on their back, just put him in a hazmat, I'm sick. You know I'm back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo.
And this is the remix, which became the official single version.
I'm in my bag with the drip. Every other tag is say whip. And I got action, and I got passion, and I got traction and grip. You know I'm back on my shit. Every other rapper say rip. Put him in a casket, put him on their back, just put him in a hazmat, I'm sick. You know I'm back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo. You couldn't blow out a candle, no.
So you can kind of hear that it knocks a lot harder. And what I'm going to do today is actually start with the original first beat I made and break that down. I'm going to kind of talk about why that maybe doesn't slap as hard as the new version, and then we'll dive into the new version, which became the official release. So here we are in Logic Pro 10, and I'm going to start off by just breaking down kind of like the main loop of the first beat I made, which sounds like this. So there's three parts to it, and actually, so I started with just this sound. It's just like a one-shot sound. So this sound came from Iho de Ramon Music Library. It's a producer from, I think, Minneapolis named Kame1. So I really like that sound, just this one hit of these keys, and then actually this kind of low arpeggiator is the same. It's the same sound, it's just pitched down. And then I just added another arpeggiator. I mean, I didn't actually use an arpeggiator, I just played it and quantized it, but this is just something in Logic. I don't remember what this patch was. Maybe it's just like a really simple patch that I made. So you got those three things kind of working together, and then I have this hat loop that's just from Splice, I think. And I just think that gives it like a really nice motion and like a nice groove. So then if we look at the drums, I mean, these are all just probably drums from Splice. It's mostly what I've been using lately. So there's another hat loop. And that kind of like, those two hat loops together really sort of like form like the bop. Like that's what I kind of built everything else off of. I used two snares on this for no real reason other than I felt like it. Two different snares. And I really feel like the bop kind of like that little boom, 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 boom. Like that's sort of like the bop of the beat, right? So there's kind of drum patterns and like hat patterns that's kind of like where a lot of like the bop comes from. It's like that nuance that to me can make something really just move better and be catchier. So then let's see what else is there. There's this
like a demo.
This is really simple. Just turn off these vocals. Hi. So then you got 808. It's another thing from from Splice. There's a couple sounds like this hey and this like woof sound that I also think I got from Splice. And that's the beat right there. So I think like why I ended up not using this beat for the main single was like largely I just like wasn't satisfied with like the bass was really hard. I tried a bunch of different 808s and they all just sort of like sounded kind of muddy and they were like fighting with the vocals a little bit. I mean, like, it's still dope, but it's just not, like, it doesn't have, like, the clarity and punch that I kind of, like, really wanted, especially for a single.
Back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo. You couldn't blow out a candle, nobody gave you the memo. You suck.
I mean, depending on, like, what system you're listening to it on, yeah, I just felt like the bass wasn't really working, and I actually kind of wonder if it's, like, you know, I tried moving the bass up a whole octave.
Back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo. You couldn't blow out a candle, nobody gave you the memo. You suck, haters ain't mess.
I mean, I don't know that I would use that super repetitive pattern for the bass if it was that high, but like, it's still intrusive.
Back on my ammo, about to blow like a demo. You couldn't.
Like to me, I'm just hearing the bass a lot. Like that's what I'm focusing on more than even like the vocals. It's kind of getting in the way. And I tried a bunch of different bass sounds and it just seems like maybe it's just like the range that bass is in that didn't really work. So let's open the remix, which is confusing because it's actually the official single, and the beat that I just showed you, which I made first, became called the remix. So on this beat, let me turn the vocals off here. So this, I just used a Splice sample. Something I did on the last album a lot was just like chop like a loop that I got from Splice, and like it's not my favorite because people will recognize it or be like, oh, like I made a beat with that sample, or I heard that in my buddy's song or whatever. But I was just kind of like messing around. I wasn't really even thinking of like releasing this. So let's see if I can play the whole loop for you. And then I just pitched it down and chopped it up. And then these are the chops I played. And I probably played that over this hi-hat. That's the bulk of this beat, of this sample wise. Let's see, what else did I layer in here? Looks like there's another chop here. Oh yeah, there's just sort of this one shot. That just gives it a little bit more of like an impact when it comes on the one. And then got this sort of bubbles. What that is, something out of Alchemy, which is one of the like stock synths or whatever in Logic. I do think that gives it quite a bit of movement that it kind of needs. So, you know, all that kind of glues together to be like the main. And then drum wise, I got this rim shot. I kept some of these sounds from the original beat, like that hey. And then got some drums, probably from Splice again, I would imagine. And then looks like I used the same, one of the same hat loops from the original beat. and then just layered this hat. Just to kind of fill it out and get as much, you know, get the frequency that I wanted, get all the frequencies that I wanted, make it kind of like thicker. And then we just got this simple 808. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's a simple beat. I think there's a couple little like really simple arrangement kind of tricks, like I have a pad going here that's moving around with some automation from left to right, and then I layered the 808 with this kind of horn brass synth sound, and then maybe there's one little kind of breakdown here where this uses more sustain, and then I got this clap thing that kind of builds up to the drop. Vocals in here.
Building with gold bricks, syllables so sick, feeling the cold drip. It's been a minute since I pulled the pin and I'm still as explosive.
So there you go. I think that this beat slaps more because it's just not struggling like the 808, the kind of really muddy sustained 808 that I had on the first beat was just kind of clashing. And it's also like a thing where like, you know, you can only like, you can't polish a turd, so to speak. Like, not that the first beat was like a turd, like I still put it out, I still think it's dope, but like the way that the sounds go together naturally, like you can only like EQ and compress and like mix and use like mixing tricks so much to get stuff to mesh together. And like the fact is that some beats, especially once you get the vocals on there, like they just knock harder naturally just by virtue of like the sounds just fit together in all these ways, like in terms of the frequencies, like the high or low or mid frequencies, whether those clash with each other or whether they make space for each other, or whether the like rhythmically there is space there. This version of the song has a lot more space in it, and you can hear the vocals better, but when the 808s do hit, they hit harder. Probably a combination of they just fit with the drums and the other sounds better. And also the fact that they only hit in like certain spots, so it's like those like bum bum bum. Yeah, so that's kind of why I think that this version knocked more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be trying to do more of these kind of like making of type videos and improving like the production quality, you know, as I'm able. So yeah, thanks a lot. Go check that song out, Spontaneous Combustion. It's all on all streaming platforms. Links in my bio, and I will see you next time.